we are on another day in the week, Thursday today, not Monday like we usually do. Myself and Lee are just going to be talking through a few sort of areas, just having a quick coffee catch up, really. As always, if anybody wants to ask a question, you can put it in the comment section, but you need to allow StreamYard through Facebook. Otherwise, you can't add any comments. You can comment on YouTube, which you should be able to pick up from here, but we will see. So, how are you today, Lee?
Fine. As I was saying, we're just a bit cold. I've come into the offices today, so trying to warm a bit.
Absolutely freezing. And I'm quite lucky in this room. It's not as cold as anywhere else in the house, but when I used to have the desk over there by the window, it was freezing cold. It was always a draft, and I could never work out where the draft was coming from. But yeah, don't have that issue right now. And I've got a nice cup of ginger and lemon tea.
I feel we need to stop calling this coffee because I've got like water.
Now I'm trying to cut down on the amount of coffee I have because previously I could go through 9-10 cups of coffee a day, which I know is not healthy, obviously. So I'm trying to switch up the afternoons to the lemon and ginger, which has been a lot better. And actually not so much of a hard switch either.
I always find it very difficult to move away from my coffee. I was like, it used to be about 8 to 9 cups a day. Yeah. And I do 3 in the morning, and then I cut myself off completely at lunch. But
yeah, same.
Teas never seem to work the same. I have to go cold turkey.
Now, today we're just going to have a chat over a few topics. We might come back to this one topic that's on everybody's mind at the moment that we were just talking about beforehand. But yeah, we want to talk to you about one of the level 3 certificates from the CPAA that you might not have heard of before. And I'm also going to give you a bit of guidance behind it and some tips if you are currently studying this at the minute, or you're not sure what it relates to, then we can fill you in. And we're also going to touch on the FAB, which is upcoming. So in March, the Festival of Accounting and Bookkeeping. If you haven't already booked a place, I'll leave a comment underneath this video in the Facebook group for you to link to. It's a free event. Anyone can attend. It's a 2-day event. And it's being held in Birmingham. And there you're going to see lots of speakers covering all topics, soft skills, very technical skills, updates, etc., AI, just the whole shebang, basically. And you'll see me talking through AML twice, which is going to be a fun topic. And then also running through how I started a practice and taking you through the ups and downs and that roller coaster ride. We've only got 20 minutes to do it, though. So I know I'm going to overrun. How do you fit 3 years into 20 minutes? We'll do it. We'll do it. I'm optimistic. So I'm just going to share my screen quickly. Okay. So this is what we're starting with. So this is the level 3 certificate within the CPAA, and obviously their website just up here, cpaa.co.uk. And in this level here, you can take one of the topics, which is bookkeeping, and it's a bookkeeping qualification designed for those with no prior accountancy skills or bookkeeping skills, as you can see here. It's the equivalent of A-level if you have undertaken any A-levels before, and also there's no entry requirements. Now, something I'll just touch on before I let Lee talk you through this in a bit more detail. Something that I like more so with the CPA qualifications than some of the others that are out there is that what the CPA has tried to do in all circumstances is give you that real world sort of scenario that you can work to, because a lot of the time study tests can be very techy. It can be something that you're never going to see again, or they just don't put scenarios in there or real world information that you need to know if you're going to work in accounting and bookkeeping or have your own practice. So I feel like the way that they approach the workbooks and textbooks is a lot more beneficial to those studying who haven't had that experience, which I'm sure Lee will agree with.
Yes.
And also the difference between the CPAA and some of the other qualifications is that you can do this online, the exam. So, no, where are they 24/7 that you can sit them, or is it set hours?
Yes, so every exam with both qualifications we currently offer is fully remote. So we were one of the kind of earlier adopters in the UK of some of this technology. So like a lot of them have done it now since COVID. So interestingly, we partnered with the same remote invigilation service brought to you that ACCA now use. Our exam delivery system, Cirrus, they've partnered with the ICAW subsequently. So I feel like we did a lot of kind of testing for these organisations as like an easy way into kind of accountancy qualifications. Yeah. Yes, they're fully remote. So there's two systems at play. There's brought to you, which is the remote invigilation. So they partner you up. If ever you've done a remote exam, they're really straightforward. You get given some details. You log in on the day for some links that you get on an email. You have to show you get connected up with somebody who's sat at the other end of the world. You show them your ID, your driving license. They take a quick picture with your webcam of it. You then have to give them a bit of a tour around your room where you sat. So you make sure you've got no notes hidden anywhere. And then they will then open up the Cirrus system, which is where the exam's delivered. And then you just kind of follow through the exam as though you're in an exam centre. And then once you finish, you close everything down, get back with your day. So yes, all remote. Yeah, fully remote. We don't have exam centres.
Yeah, and having been a very traditional accountant previously and sitting my exams in the classroom environment, when I did, I undertook a few exams that were remote vigilated, and it was quite an experience where you've got to, video underneath your desk and on top of the desk, etc. But it's a really straightforward process to adhere to. So one interesting thing here that you might not know about CPAA exams is that you've got 5 years to pass the 3 exams at that particular level, which is great. So you're not time restricted per se. I'm sure that's more attainable.
Yeah, so it's a way of kind of the way we kind of try to package them. So rather than selling you a student membership and a kind of you buy each exam as you go along and then you take them, we just sell you like a package of all the exams for that qualification. So once you've bought that package, you then have 5 years to complete the 3 exams for that qualification. If something happens, you let us know. If you've got sick or something like that and you need more time, happy to extend. But the 5 years is kind of there so that you're not just lingering on our system, which is something that we found when we first launched and we had a more traditional way of promoting it where we had students joining and then we sold each exam as they went along. We found some people would join us and then just not do any exams ever.
Oh, no.
Like, yeah, so you've registered as a student, you're paying us at this student fee, but are you going to are you going to pursue it? Are you going to actually get to it or not? And if you're not, then please stop giving us money because it's not helping you. So yeah, we very much kind of developed this approach to try and stop that from happening. So we wanted to make sure that people that signed up had a clear kind of goal, right? 5 years, I've got to get all the exams done. And in truth, it's 3 exams. So, hopefully you can get those accomplished fairly within 5 years.
Yeah, and I think the one that we were talking about today as well, this bookkeeping for the practice BKFP, that you got some. I'm not going to click on that just for a second, but I always find something interesting when it comes to questions that I get asked on the YouTube channel or even Facebook, etc. And it's people who will ask me, should after going to university to study X or college to study a certain qualification, should they then just move straight on to like a higher qualification like the ACCA or ICAW and just avoid the bookkeeping element? And my answer to that is no. Never. Because the thing is, you could be a very high technical accountant where you're dealing with FRS or you're dealing with US standards, etc., or IFRS, which is fine, And having that technical knowledge, again, is great, and it's specific to certain roles. However, for the majority of the work that you're doing, if you don't understand the basic bookkeeping of X to X, so literally double entry, T accounts, etc., the very basics, up to trial balance level. And I've actually known many accountants in the past who have been in the work for a long time, in the industry for 5-6 years, and still don't know how to do a TB, a trial balance. So I think it's really fundamental to get that basic knowledge in there, of the bookkeeping, really understand it, understand how it works, again, in the real world, and asking those questions and seeing those scenarios, etc. So an exam like the BKFP, I think is fundamental. Leander's just asked a question, by the way. How does it transfer? How does the transfer work if they were to transfer from the ICB over to yourselves at the CPAA?
So if you're an ICB member and you've been in practice, if you've got 5 years experience, so you don't have to be in practice, but if you've got 5 years experience in a relevant role for 5 years and you're an ICB member, you can join us straight away. You don't need to pass our exams. So you can just apply. So on the screen Rebecca's got up now, if you go on that red apply now button, you can follow it through from there. You can submit an online application, and we can just kind of review the direct entry on the basis of your ICB membership and your experience. So yes, so if you're in practice, you just press the top one, the practice in, non-practicing if you're currently employed, international if you're outside the UK, and you can kind of go through just as a kind of mutual, as kind of recognition of your experience and your already qualification with the ICB. You're more than welcome to sit the exams if you want to. If you wanted to kind of brush up or challenge yourself with those. But like I said, you can join straight away if you're an ICB member.
Yeah, it's quite a straightforward process then. The other thing that we'll mention though, regarding, I think it's important to mention this because there's a bit of confusion around the AML, is that the CPAA are not AML supervised, which would mean that you would require to have HMRC AML supervision as opposed to like ICB, yes, etc. But your supervisory body would be the CPAA. So you'd still get the support, the technical helpline, etc., and have that community there, and also help sheets and guidance, etc., that you'd normally expect with another supervisory body. So it just works a tiny bit different in that element. But other than that, it's pretty much what you would expect with a supervisory body.
So I mean, like we very much pitch ourselves like roughly over half our members are supervised by HMRC. For money laundering, the others are supervised by a professional body supervisor.
Yeah.
So we're very much a great kind of second home. So if you've already got a professional body supervisor and you're looking for somebody to help you with CPD, we offer full program of CPD. We've just started with 2 webinars this week. If you PI, we provide that within the membership. We provide all the technical support, so there's a tax and legal support, as well as specific AML support, which is something we've really done a lot with in recent years. So there's a full comprehensive AML guide that we provide. There's a series of templates that you can use within your own practice. We also have a dedicated AML support service as well, where you can email firms set up by the former head of professional standards at ACCA. You can email them and they will give you advice and guidance on your AML and any kind of ethical queries you might have. So we're very much great in that respect. And if you don't have a professional body or you wanted to drop the ICB as your supervisor for whatever reason, we can also help you and guide you through that process of registering with HMRC.
And you can be part of 2 professional bodies.
Yes.
You can, but when it comes to, again, just touching on that AML front, what the supervisory bodies say is that you can only have 1 AML supervision body. So, for instance, for me, I could be ICAW AML supervised and also be a member of CPAA and be a member of ICB, so that I get the benefit of all communities, essentially. So you can do that. It's always an option. And again, I'm sure that Lee and the team can assist. Okay. Also, just to mention, Lee is in this group. So if any of you haven't met Lee before or you're new to the group, you can find him in the Facebook group. So you can ask questions at any time. and Lee will obviously get back to you. And he's also on LinkedIn. As I said last week, we need to put your contact details onto this call. So there's just a link. So what we're just going to do is just switch over now, if you don't mind, to the FAB. So if you've not heard of the Festival of Accounting and Bookkeeping, there might be a reason why, because this is the first year that they're running. So basically, this is a free event that you can attend in March. It's in Birmingham at the NEC. If you've never been, it's a really nice place. So here you could book your ticket for free. Here there's a lot of information about why you should visit. Every single year, all bookkeepers and accountants have to do a certain element of CPD training, so continual professional development. And depending on what supervisory body you have, what services you offer, if any, if you're in work, so you're just, working in a firm, you're an employee, or if you're working in industry, or, your circumstance will depend on how many hours of CPD you have to do. Now, some of that has to be in person. Some of it can be online. Some of it can be study textbook. It could be research. It could be anything, really. But you have to have an element of both. So if you were to attend the Festival of Accounting and Bookkeeping, that will count towards some of that CPD. So it's 2 days. So you can have, I think it's 8 hours per day. I'll need to check on that. But basically, if we look at what's on here, there's different stages, startup meets, etc. There's a bookkeeping retreat. There's Any Answers Live. There's speaker lineups. There's food. That's why I'm going. No, sorry. And you can have a look at the speakers here. So I'm going to show you something that's cringeworthy, but we're going to do it anyway. So if you scroll down, keep going. I'm going to be right at the bottom here, aren't I? So there's James, a good friend of mine. Johan, a good friend. Quite a lot of these people, I would say, are good friends. Jonathan Valentine, Laura, let's keep going. Nicola, and there I am with that cheesy picture that I see everywhere. So if you click on me there, you can see what I'm speaking about. So I'm going to talk about how I set up a bookkeeping practice, all about AML for bookkeepers, and also State of the Nation AML, which I'm really excited for. Because I get to go and speak with David Winch, who's well known in the industry, talking about AML, all things AML, but breaking it down so it's not this big scary topic. There's also talks on AI, and again, you can meet the speakers, you can have a coffee, you can relax. Basically, it's going to be an amazing event, and it's completely free. The only travel costs you'll have is, say, train, car, and food, I guess. That's it. So that's going to be an exciting event, essentially. There are a few other events this year as well, which we'll touch on later in the year. I might even add a listing to the group just to say what's on in the year, because I'm sure you'll agree with this, Lee, but I think in bookkeeping and accounting, if you'd have gone back when I first started all those years ago, 16, 17 years ago, and yes, I have grey hair, and yes, I have wrinkles at this point, there wasn't the community that is there now. So there wasn't the support, there wasn't people you could ask or talk to, or, those in a similar boat where you could just reach out and say, I need help with this study topic, or I need help with this, I've never seen it before. So nowadays there is, and by going to these events and getting involved in the Facebook community, etc., you'll find very, very like-minded people and maybe make friends long-term with those individuals. So I think it's just a good way of getting involved in the community with events like this. And I know Mike, who's put this event on, is incredible and always makes things super duper and special, and he considers everybody and everybody's needs, and it's just going to be a great event, essentially. Now, we've gone over time, as we always do with these small chats, but if anyone's got questions that you want to ask before we jump off, feel free to do so. As I say, Lee, you're in the group at all times to answer any questions. And we're always jumping on every week now. just to chat through really anything, coffee chat. But as we say, we're drinking ginger tea and water. Do you have anything to add, Lee, before we jump off? Or
not really. Like I said, we've started our CPD program now for this year. So if you are interested, you want to catch up on some CPD points, now is a great time to get your application in to have a look. I will probably try and share perhaps some of the CPD events this year and open them up to in the group as well, just in case you're perhaps interested. And just on the kind of AML note, if anybody did have any kind of specific questions about that kind of support that we offer as an organisation, if you reach out to me, I can try and share some bits of it with you, or maybe even like share the help support line and stuff if you've got a specific query that you'd like to see how that works. So yeah.
Perfect. Okay, well, we'll catch you all again next week on Monday. I think it's going to be Monday, time dependent. I will confirm. But it's the same time, regardless of what day it's going to be anyway. And yeah, you can catch us both in the group. But yeah, hope you enjoy the rest of your week and weekends. And yeah, we'll talk to you all soon. See you next time.